Hey there. Just messing around. Little jazzy blues in A minor to start the day. It is Friday, May 24th. We're heading into the last week of the 5th month, into summer. Finally, summer's here. We had a week of rain here, and this just, I know, I have no right to complain, but it's just one of those things that we were set up for summer. It was cooking here in April, and then we even fired up the heater one day in May. Unbelievable. I gotta move. Gotta find a more palatable environment. Anyway, a lot of fun stuff going on here. Actually, I'm going to talk about 2 lessons I had already today. I had 2 lessons early this morning, and both of them were working on something interesting. One of them was theory with minor scales, and the other was a little Renbourn piece. Actually, I'm just going to play this right now. And it gave me a chance to work with Carl on holding on to notes. Here's what it sounded like when he played it today. Okay, it wasn't quite that clunky. But 2 really important notes in Judy, if you're working on Judy. Hanging on to that D while you hit the next bass note. Then hanging onto that A while you hit the E in the bass. That's what it's got to sound like. All the voices just kind of sweep over each other and overlap, and that's one of the things that just really jumped out and grabbed me when I was first getting familiar with John Renbourn tunes. Let's talk about what else has gone on this week. Max has brought us some really cool lessons. I hope everybody's working on their Charlie Parker licks, right? That Blues for Alice thing, aside from some difficult chords and then some cool solos, this was probably our most varied week because Max brought us a couple of things, including this. I have students work on that every once in a while, sometimes for picking exercises. Let me find a pick I like here. Sometimes just to be able to play fast with the pick. Good exercise. Of course, so is all the other stuff in there. So that was Thunderstruck, AC/DC. One of my students who was here yesterday, too, loves playing. She does it finger style and just kind of has fun playing Sweet Child of Mine because she thinks it's so cool. And everybody should work on that one, too. Great exercise. Of course, it had its genesis, I guess, in really just an exercise that then they used as an intro to a pretty cool tune. What else did we have? Neil Young. Uh-oh. Beautiful tune. The stuff that he did at the Canterbury House in 1968 was just some of the best singing. I hope everybody has that album. It's called Sugar Mountain, live at the Canterbury House in 1968. And that was the kind of the version of Out of My Mind that, of course, showed up on, I think it was the first Buffalo Springfield album in 1966 even. Maybe 7. Of course, we had Something's Happening Here was on there too. And I better go work that out. Anyway, some great tunes on there. First Buffalo Springfield album. What else? There was another song I was going to talk about. Max again. A little different than the version I play. Although that part is pretty much the same. Still see that weird chord? Someday I'm going to get to this. The way Pete did it, but for now, that's kind of on hold. Daryl, I think it was Daryl, yeah. That video of Tommy Emmanuel playing his song Questions, I guess it was called, right, was just stunning. That's the type of playing of his I really like to see, when it's so, emotional and just flows. So that was great. Thanks for posting that stuff. Again, he's spectacular and just plays effortlessly and gets sounds out of the guitar that very few people can. So that was a neat little diversion, I guess. What else? Oh, we did release a new pack. An email went out that included this, and there's kind of a funny story about this, and that had to do with one of my best friends who I only talk to once or twice a year. That's what happens when you get in the gray age bracket, but called me up out of the blue yesterday, and said, "Oh man, that email that I got from you that talked about the Tom Petty thing. Now I'm playing nothing but Tom Petty songs, and I hadn't picked up my guitar in months, but that inspired me." And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, because some of that stuff, it just we pump out those packs every week or so, and you never quite know what who's going to pay attention, but it got one of my longtime friends back on track, and he told me he'd been traveling a lot lately. He's an endodontist, and he takes a lot of time off because what he does is really intense. Gets in there into people's faces and, gets way inside their face, and does root canals all day long, 4 days a week. But then he takes weeks off at a time and travels. He's been to Iceland and recently in Jerusalem, and I said, "Hey, why don't you join us in Amsterdam, July 25th?" And he goes, "I think I'm taking that week off. I might just do that." So anyway, anybody else that's thinking about it, we're kind of solidifying room reservations with Samaya. I think we've got 5 or 6 guitar students signed up and a couple of spouses coming in, but there's room for a couple more. If you'd like to spend some time with me and Vanessa and a few others, along with, and work on some intense, not intense. My plan for it's a little less intense than the California camp, because we just have a little, because we have a lot less people, and so that means a lot more individual attention. So looking forward to spending time with some of our guests out there, Eric and Mark and Eddie, and I just forgot somebody. Who else was, I forgot a couple. Well, anyway, enough. July 25th. Think about joining us in Amsterdam. And the reason I brought that up, though, that was all part of the Tom Petty story. Never mind. The last thing I want to talk about, I think I'll need a pick for this too, is Larry was here this morning, and we were talking about minor scales and why it's important to understand, particularly the harmonic minor scale. If you play chords 1, 4, and 5, we'll do this in A minor just for the sake of simplicity. Chords 1, 4, and 5 in the minor key are minor. They would be A minor, D minor, 4, E minor, 5. And you can hear that's got kind of a cool sound. Now, when I was improvising a little while ago in A minor, I wasn't quite using the straight minor scale. I'm using some notes that are not in it. But I was kind of messing around with an A minor chord for a while. Then I went to a D minor. But when I went to E, I did not use E minor. I was using a chord that is altered frequently in a minor key by raising the 7th step. Our A minor scale would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. But if we play the harmonic minor scale, we use G sharp. And what I had Larry do this morning was figuring out, well, particularly of the 3 primary chords, 1, 4, and 5, which of those are affected by changing a G to G sharp. So we looked at an A minor chord. I said, what are the notes in A minor? And he said A, C, E. I said, right. Does the G or G sharp matter in that case? No. I said, what's chord 4? D minor. What are the notes in D minor? D, F, A. Still no G. No big deal. What about E minor? Ah, E, G, B. So if I play G sharp instead of B, which is our raised 7th in the harmonic minor scale, we end up making it a major chord. And now it has much more of the dominant sound that we hear in a major key on chord 5. Again, here's 1, 4, 5, all as minor. But if I play E as major, I now have what was missing in our natural minor scale, a leading tone. Note a half step below our tonic. And that gives a much stronger pull to the A minor chord. We can make it even stronger by making it a 7th chord. Big old E7, really strong pull. So a lot of times if you play using just the natural minor scale, we consider that almost more of a modal sound because it doesn't have the strong dominant sound on chord 5 or the leading tone, our raised 7th, that we get there. So the natural minor scale can also be referred to, of course, as the Aeolian mode. So that's it. When I was messing around in A minor, I was using A minors, D minors, and usually when I went to E, I played it as E7, or sometimes I brought in a raised 5th, making it augmented, sometimes a 7th, or a flatted 9th, a raised 9th. I don't think I used that one at all in there. Oh, I did. Yeah, at one point I played the flatted 9th chord when I went up here and played a G sharp and an F natural while I had my E chord in there. Really extra dissonance, getting into the world of jazz chords, kind of like we heard in Blues for Alice, of all things. Another song that kind of ran through my head today was this. When we hear this big old C major 7 chord followed by an A7 chord, who recognizes that? It's a surprise. It's a lesson we have at TG. It might even be in next week's 5-pack. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself and way off track. That is it. I'm out of time. Wait, out of my mind? No. Maybe. Okay, I think that is it. Next week will be the end of May. I think I have something important to do. Oh, yeah. Wednesday. That's right. I'm taking Wednesday off. We're going to see Hamilton. And believe it or not, I've had a couple students play songs from Hamilton, even though most of it seems kind of, actually 3. Wow, 3 different students have been working on songs from Hamilton, at least over the last year. So I will let you know what we thought about that. It's playing in San Francisco, and we'll see how the transportation and in and out of the city and parking and walking and all that other stuff goes. In the meantime, I gotta go change these strings. These things are killing me right now. So I probably say that every week and then I forget to do it. But that's it. Today is new string day. Oh, what was the other little part in that? Okay, back next week.